Hello and welcome. My name is Tabitha Saris. I'm the Vice President of Investor Relations with the St. Louis Regional Chamber with our special guest, Brian Hall, who is the Chief Marketing Officer with Explore St. Louis. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Tabitha. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So we want to share what's going on in the travel and tourism and hospitality industry. Can you share some insights with us?
Sure. Well, naturally, this is a very difficult time for the travel and tourism industry. Here at America's Center, and I'm coming to you live from the America's Center Convention Complex, we have about 2 million square feet here, and there are about 10 of us in the building right now. So we're giving new meaning to social distancing. We've had about 30 event cancellations here at America's Center, including 3 XFL games and a host of conventions that would have produced somewhere in the vicinity, Tabitha, of about 90,000 plus hotel rooms for our community. And unfortunately, those rooms haven't materialized and those guests have not arrived. As a result, hotels throughout the community are running single-digit occupancies, perhaps for the first time in the history of hospitality here in St. Louis. Virtually every hotel in the community that has remained open is running some 85 to 90% down in accordance with where they ought to be during this time of the year, which is one of the more robust time periods for St. Louis, because it would have been the start of the baseball season, lots of meeting and convention activity, lots of leisure travelers coming into the community. So it's hard. It's also hard for a lot of the frontline hospitality professionals, and our hearts go out to everyone that have been impacted by this crisis. The unemployed ranks of hospitality professionals are swollen, and we look forward to bringing us back online and getting these folks re-engaged in their occupations, so that we can continue welcoming guests into the region moving forward. That said, out of this adversity, there have been a lot of cool things that have taken place, including, for example, restaurants throughout the community. As you're aware, because you've been participating on many of our weekly calls with partners, restaurants said, hey, we're offering curbside and delivery service, and we're going to pivot and we're going to make this work so that people have to continue to eat. So we created an initiative called STL Take It Home, and that's on ExploreSt.Louis.com. And we encourage people that one way that you can help is you can order takeout from a host of restaurants throughout the community. We have, if you can believe it, we have 1,000 plus establishments on our website at present that are offering curbside and delivery services. And the neighborhoods represent the entire region. The cuisine represents the diversity of our region, and there's just so many ways that you can enjoy St. Louis hospitality, as it were, by ordering from your favorite restaurant. Another thing that we have done in this trying period of time is that many of the attractions, like the St. Louis Aquarium, the zoo, the Science Center, the Magic House, the Gateway Arch, many attractions, dozens throughout the community, started creating digital programming. And in fact, some of my friends were telling me that the digital programming is so terrific. It's not just entertainment, it's edutainment. And they're using it as social studies curriculum for their kids as they're homeschooling them right now. Terrific. I'm glad you are. So we curated a website module that is again on Explore St. Louis, and it features virtual. We call it Virtual St. Louis, and it features virtual experiences that people can enjoy throughout the community. So we're really excited about that. And where we are now is we're starting to have conversations about coming back. We are going to recover, and we need to make plans toward recovery. And so what is that recovery going to look like? When is it going to take place? And we're cautiously optimistic. There's nothing etched in stone. We're all trying to figure this out as we move forward. And we take our lead, obviously, from public health officials and our elected officials. But we're cautiously optimistic that by perhaps Memorial Day, we'll be in a position where restrictions are somewhat relaxed. We're going to, lots of new changes, lots of new reality, no doubt. But I've been talking to colleagues at the Gateway Arch and the aquarium and the zoo and a host of other attractions and our hotel partners, and they're all coming up with plans in reference to how they're going to provide a safe experience for visitors. So Tabitha, our thinking is that we're going to begin when we kind of turn back on. It's not going to be a mad rush. We're going to have to phase and evolve into this, but we're going to focus on St. Louisans first. So we figure that folks like you, and certainly me, are going to be struggling with cabin fever. So how about this? We're going to do a campaign. We're going to launch a campaign that's going to be called Camp STL. And why don't you come out, spend a night or two in a nice hotel and enjoy a luxurious guest room, bring the family, of course, binge watch some movies, enjoy a couple of your favorite attractions, dine out and kind of ease back into things. And then over time, we look forward to expanding the radius of who we appeal to by reaching into some of our key feeder markets. Feeder markets that orbit St. Louis within an easy drive. One of our obligations and one of the things that we think is going to be particularly important is that we underscore the measures that we have taken to ensure safety. So we're going to be talking about how hotels are ensuring as you check in, you're going to have adequate space separating you from other parties. We're going to be disinfecting hotel rooms. We're going to be wiping all the surfaces down routinely. We're going to be doing all these things at America Center too. Attractions, same situation. I've had conversations with many. They're already looking at how they'll create stanchions that will space and separate, the cleaning practices that they're going to put into place, and a host of other responses. And we're in the process right now of conceiving of those with our partners, talking to public health officials and elected officials to make sure that these procedures meet their requirements and expectations. And then we'll phase them into implementation as soon as we're ready to turn the corner and reopen.
That's amazing, Brian. Just the collaboration that had to come together to put in the processes for the recovery period. And you said it's Camp STL?
Yeah.
I love it. I already know which hotels I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
And where I'm going to eat.
I think it's a really cool way to be a tourist in your own town. And I think that, it's going to be a great remedy to cabin fever. And I think people are going to be ready for it. And then think about shopping too. And some of the places where you might stay. And who cares if you only drive 12, 15 miles away from home? Get out of the house, and when we are able to do this, it's going to be such a refreshing alternative to staring at the walls inside our own homes for what will have been the better part of 2 months.
Oh my goodness. And daycare, that's when you leave the kids with grandma and grandpa and you just get out.
Yes, I agree with you.
For virtual options. That's amazing. Well, Brian, I appreciate the insights. We're going to check back in with you in probably 6 to 8 weeks and see how we're doing. And then can't wait to hear more what's going on.
Yeah, you bet. And we'll give you an update when you check back in reference to details on Camp STL.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Brian.
You bet. My pleasure.